We're just past the first of the student walkouts and protests that are coming in the wake of the Parkland shooting a month ago. The first round was on March 14th, and I can't tell you how that went around here where I live, because all the schools around here are on spring break, so technically they all walked up. But a lot of schools around the country were still in session, and there was a lot of news coverage of the students walking out. And there's a couple of things I want to address about that before the next one comes up on the 24th of March, and then the third one on April 20th. Which in all of those situations, April 24th is a Saturday, March 24th is a Saturday, and April 20th, those schools around here are off. So we'll all walk out again. But I've been seeing something on social media that's a hashtag of walk up, not out. And the whole point of that is, instead of walking out of school, walk up to 17 people, 14 students and 3 adults that you don't normally talk to, and be nice to them. Just be nice to each other. Okay. There's nothing wrong with being nice to each other. I appreciate that sentiment, you know, and being nice to each other can go an awful long way. But walking up to someone to be nicer to them, and in the hopes that by you being nice to them, they're not going to perpetrate a mass shooting, which is a bit of a stretch. But there's nothing wrong with being nice to someone, but there's no reason why you have to choose between walking up and being nice to somebody and walking out in protest. And the whole thing, and the walk up not out hashtag and the response to it have been very pick one or the other, and I don't think that's the case. Yes, by saying, look, students, you weren't nice enough to these guys, and that's why they shot up your school, it is victim shaming, and if you look at it that way, it's really stupid and absurd. But there's also nothing wrong with being nice to other people. There's also nothing wrong with exercising a First Amendment right and having a walkout in protest. Like the governor of South Carolina, on the day of the walkout, said that this wasn't the students, this was a left-wing political group. It's not a memorial, it's a protest. No kidding, it's a protest. And you know what? The students are doing it, despite what a lot of folks on the right are posting. I saw 2 references to the same tweet yesterday of some kid in Southern California. And I'm going to say he's in Southern California because he tweeted it to a TV station called KTLA, and that's a local Los Angeles station. And he said that the students were being forced to participate in the walkout. This was not an uprising, it was staged. And I saw multiple people repost this tweet as if it were an honest news source proving that these protests weren't real. You know what? There were plenty of kids on camera saying that, demonstrating that the protests were real, that the walkouts were real. Now, is it possible that there are some schools in the country, more than one, that the that could have said, okay, kids, we're just going to do this so it doesn't interrupt the school day, we're all going to do it? And are there going to be some kids in there who are very pro-gun, if they know what it's about, and want to just stay in class and not participate in it? Yes, absolutely. And if the whole school does it and they get up, they're going to say they got forced. But who's forcing them? If you want to go down the South Carolina governor's path, a left-wing group, no, a left-wing group does not have the power to do that. The administration and the teachers of the school have the power to do that. So even if they are the ones forcing these kids to participate, the teachers and the administrators can't protest also? It's like, okay, so this one kid felt like he was being forced. He got out of school for 17 minutes. Most high school kids are going to be fine with that. But so the teachers were protesting. If you don't think teachers protest, look at what happened in West Virginia. They closed down all of the schools in the state for more than a week to get better pay, and it worked. So teachers, administrators, students, whoever's protesting, they're protesting the fact that they're sick of being targets. Yes, there are mentally unstable people. Yes, it would be better to be nice to them. It could be beneficial. And it never hurts to be nice to somebody. But you also have to bring to the attention of the people that can do something about it that something needs to be done. So I say, walk up and walk out. Do both. Don't choose. Make your voice heard, but at the same time, make a point to be nicer to other people. I don't see anything wrong with doing those. And it's funny, all the people who were 8 years ago going to Tea Party protests, putting on tricorn hats and throwing tea bags over the fence of the White House, are the ones who are complaining about protests now. You know why? Because protests work. They take time. They don't happen instantly, but they work. Sometimes they take years. Sometimes they take months. But they will eventually work in time. And look at the Tea Party protests in 2010. Created a huge red wave to put Republicans in the power of the House in 2010. And now they see the protest movements coming against them, and they don't like it, and they want the protests to stop. Well, you know what? You want to protect the Second Amendment, you can't do it by shutting down the First Amendment. The protests are going to happen. Nobody's harmed by people walking out of school for 17 minutes. For crying out loud, that's just a long fire drill. Get over it. And the next one's on a Saturday. I'd like to see how the March 24th is on a Saturday. There's no school in the country that's going to be in session on a Saturday, and I'd like to see how the right wing spins it if all these kids are being forced to do it. How? So pay attention to the response to that. Exercise your First Amendment rights. Walk out, but also walk up. Do both. Don't choose.